The race to build the first inter-country railway is officially on in North America, and Mexico is destined to not come in last place. Tren Maya, also known as Mayan Train, is a proposed intercity railway throughout Mexico that began construction in 2020. The system is slated to stretch nearly 1,000 miles upon its completion, with a goal of connecting favorite tourist destinations in the Caribbean to less visited sites further inland. Many of these sites are ancient Mayan artifacts, which influence the project's title. There has been far-reaching support from the Mexican citizens to the nation's government for the project. However, there has also been a considerable amount of pushback due to a number of concerns. In September of 2018, then-President-elect Andrés Manuel López Obrador released the first version of the Mayan Train project. This new plan, inspired by previous proposals of systems running roughly 600 miles, was deemed by many of Obrador's political opponents as impossible and nothing more than a campaign tool. Despite the backlash, once officially taking office, Obrador set out to prove this was not a mere campaign tool. In November of 2019, the president announced an official referendum regarding Tren Maya to be held a month later in the Mexican states of Chiapas, Tabasco, Campeche, Yucatan, and Quintana Roo, the locations where the train was to be constructed. During the weekend of the vote, more than 90% of participants in the relevant states voted in favor of the project. It wasn't without controversy, however, as the Mexican Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights heavily criticized the circumstances and the outcome of the vote. They stated that voters were only provided with the potential benefits of the project, while the long list of potential negative effects were not mentioned. They also critiqued a myriad of additional circumstances of the vote, including the translation of the material used, the low turnout of primarily indigenous women, and the short time frame. The office argued that the majority of the voters in the area simply did not have the financial means to afford to attend the vote, and thus it was not an accurate poll of the locals' desires. Obrador's administration denied the claims and said that the consultation of the vote met the predetermined international standards, and the project was officially deemed underway. Funding for Tren Maya plans to come primarily from a tourist tax in all of the relevant regions. The government will also pull funds from additional locations, such as revenues gained from the Mexican Grand Prix. Initially, in 2018, the National Fund for Tourism Development, which was tasked with managing the project, estimated the total cost of Tren Maya to be 150 billion pesos, or around 7.4 billion US dollars. This figure was widely criticized, however, when a local policy think tank released its own assessment and estimate of the project: over $25 billion. In light of public pressure, the National Fund for Tourism Development revised their official estimate in October of 2021 to 200 billion pesos, or north of 10 billion USD. Construction first broke ground on December 16, 2018, when President Obrador conducted an ancient Mayan ritual to commemorate the beginning of the process. The current plan includes 7 sections of track, each connecting cities that are roughly 155 miles apart on average. Since then, remarkable progress has been made. President Obrador, on the other hand, is much more optimistic in his estimates. He has stated multiple times that the entirety of Tren Maya's construction will be completed by the end of his term, scheduled for 2024. But most experts agree that his timeline is much too aggressive and is extremely unlikely. Outside of the likely exaggerated timeline of Obrador, outside parties have had numerous other issues with the project. Firstly, environmental activists have been extremely wary of the rail system, as its construction in the jungles of the area is likely to greatly dilute the natural beauty of the surrounding area, while also adding to pollution. However, officials and fans of the initiative are quick to respond that, once everything is said and done, the number of jobs that it will have created, as well as the huge boost in the economy of the Yucatan Peninsula, is well worth the dilution of the jungle. After all, connecting popular tourist destinations such as Cancun to inland places that are much less visited, such as El Triunfo or Bacalar, serves only to boost the popularity of the region and Mexican culture as a whole. When everything is said and done, the citizens of Mexico and the millions of tourists that travel to the Caribbean each year will have a cutting-edge way to visit and discover lesser-known destinations within Mexico's inland. Not only that, Tren Maya will also serve as the perfect jumping-off point for future Mexican administrations to build upon, eventually leading to a cross-Mexican high-speed rail system. In the race to North American bragging rights for the first and best cross-country train public transit service, Mexico might just have put itself in the lead. Thanks for watching.